Hi, this is Sarah. So for this reading response, I decided to read Patterns in the Sky by Caitlin Petrie. And I honestly found her article very informative and really interesting. I found a lot of different things that I feel like I could use for my future classroom. One of the first things that she talked about was on page 35. She really emphasized engaging the class in a discussion about patterns in the sky before really doing anything else, like talk to them about what they already know, to see kind of what background knowledge, what they've already observed, like what they're already thinking about the sky and things like patterns and seasons and moon phases. She also gives a really good idea on page 36 for an activity that I could do with students, which really incorporates the idea of creativity while also going back to the lesson. And it's letting students kind of create their own star constellations, and then letting them like name them and write little stories about the constellations, just to really get them interested in the concepts. She also, on page 37, talks about the benefits of taking the class to a planetarium. That way they're able to see a view of what the world beyond Earth really looks like, what space looks like, and how that would incorporate into moon phases and the seasons and different constellations. She also says on page 38 that if you aren't able to go to a planetarium, another good alternative could be to use like a lamp and a globe to explain seasons, or like add in a moon to kind of really show, like right in front of them, a diagram of how these things happen, how the different seasons, how the different moon phases are able to happen like right in front of the student. One thing that I found really, really interesting was that she mentioned ways to extend the lesson throughout the year. So like with seasons, you could have a new conversation about seasons every single time that like the season changed. So from like fall to winter and winter to spring. And then at the end of the year leading into summer, just talking about how science plays into that and the different things going into those different patterns. Another thing that I found really interesting on the last page, page 39, I believe, was when she talked about the evaluations of what they learned and about patterns in the sky. She mentioned that they should really be more informal, and that's how you're gonna get the best look on what the students know. You can do this by like looking at their background knowledge and comparing it to any reflections that they created after the lesson on what they learned. She also says to look at what kind of new vocab they learned, and really emphasize that you should use it more to see if the student understands the content and not so much memorization. So really, do they know that there's a reason for the different seasons, and what might that reason be, instead of memorizing like what each of the solstices are called, what each of the moon phases are called, really just focusing on understanding the content. So yeah, I enjoyed reading this article, and I found a lot of different ways that I could incorporate patterns in the sky into my future classroom.